welcome back to our International Students and Studies episode 7! Yay! Hi, Harry!
I am Harry.
Okay, that was a really strong intro, Harry.
Thanks. I usually, whenever someone says, "Hi, Harry," I always respond with, "I'm Harry."
That's a very strong intro. I like it. But yeah, this is like episode 7 right now, and he's my coworker. He works at Ram Radio. He's one of the wonderful producers that we have in the studio. And
Blazing.
And Harry, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, I am a coworker of Jane's, like she said just now. I'm a producer, not co-host, host of a podcast here at Ram Radio and a DJ. And this is actually my second year at ASU.
Right.
Under the computer science program.
Awesome. So, Harry, we are going to talk about some culture here. I'm Korean, and people think I'm Korean American, which is not. I'm purely 100% Korean, yellow.
So really good at English.
Thank you. I try. But anyways, Harry, can you tell me about your ethnicity, where you were born? Like, I know you're an American citizen, but I know you have a really good background of your history. Like, you can kind of like tell me how it goes.
I mean, I guess I can start with where I was born, right? So I was born in Santa Monica, city right next to Los Angeles, California. Very unexpected of, most people I meet, right?
Right.
And, around when I was 1 year old, so I pretty much have no memories there. I moved
Right.
up to Washington State and lived there all my life.
Till when?
Actually just kind of recently since, moving here to
ASU.
Yeah.
Okay.
To attend ASU. I am half Japanese and the other half is very complicated. All over the Mediterranean, Italian, Greek, Lebanese, Armenian.
Wow.
And some other stuff, I think.
Okay, so where does this half Japanese come from? From your mom's side or your dad's side?
My mom is full Japanese, and
Oh.
she actually immigrated from Japan actually like 10 years before I was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And your dad is like all mixed?
All mixed around the Mediterranean and Middle East area.
I see. That's why Harry's really good at Japanese. So he's been teaching me a little bit of Japanese time to time.
Well, the reason why I'm like decent, I'm not good at Japanese. I'm just
you
decent.
are.
I'm decent at Japanese is because of two reasons.
Okay.
One is because I attended Japanese Saturday school in Washington State
Oh.
for about 7 to 8 years.
Wow.
Ish. And then I got fed up with it, like, balancing actual
Yeah.
American school and Japanese school.
Uh-huh.
Japanese school has so much homework.
Oh.
You have no idea.
Asian cultures, homework, 24/7.
Yeah. No, it's the same amount that they would give in Japan too. So it's just alongside anime.
Anime.
So I actually learned a lot of words in Japanese from anime.
Right.
Alongside working on my accent, like my Japanese accent, through obviously speaking with my mom,
Right.
who's utterly fluent in Japanese, alongside, working on it through anime. I watch too much anime.
Before we get into the anime part, so your mom, where was she born? Like, there's all sorts of cities in Japan. Like, I know there's a little bit of accent differences in
Oh,
Japan too.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
was she born?
So she was born in a prefecture called Ishikawa. Ishikawa.
Ishikawa.
I can't. God, how they're like the prefectures in Japan are grouped. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
Right. There's like the Kanto region and all
Uh-huh.
that. I don't know. I never really memorized those.
It's okay.
I memorized the prefectures themselves, but surprisingly not like the actual groups. But around the center area of Japan,
Right.
Like say this is Tokyo,
Uh-huh.
and this is the giant prefecture Hokkaido.
Right.
This around here would be where Ishikawa is. It's like that tiny little thing that sticks out.
Aha.
And it's very much of a countryside area.
Right.
So, lots of rice being grown there. And I think they're also known for pottery.
Pottery.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense because in Asian cultures, when we look back into history, there's a lot of pottery advanced. So, wow, that's really interesting. I did not know your mom grew up from a countryside in Japan. Maybe, like, do you get affected a lot from your mom's accent, or do you mainly get affected by, like, animes?
I'm gonna be honest. It's mostly anime because, even though like obviously me and my mom, we both like talk in Japanese all the time. I mean, I guess some words that you wouldn't hear in, say the Tokyo accent or whatever that's called, the normal Japanese, right? It does get like affect me, and I actually start using that. I can't really give an example right now,
Right.
but most of it really does come from anime, which is the general Japanese language.
Would that be, like, called as, like, normal dialect? Normal dialect? Like, from the city?
Yeah, city
Okay.
dialect, I would say. Yeah, it's the most common, right?
Because in Korea, we also have a dialect, and it's really, really hard to understand for foreigners. So most of the people know as Korean with just Seoul dialect, just like you said, like the city dialect. But actually, in Korea, there's all sorts of dialects. Like the tone goes crazy up and down, and like it kind of sounds like Chinese too for foreigners because the accent goes like really strong. Sounds really strong and everything. So I think dialect is a really fun part that people might not know well in Asian countries.
I guess that's the distinction between Korean and Japanese, is that the dialects in Japanese, obviously there's going to be like Okinawa Ben, which is Okinawa's, dialect. I don't understand that. Like,
right?
It's incomprehensible.
I know.
But whereas like the other dialects in Japanese, they're mostly like still understandable. Yeah, even for
that's
foreigners.
Interesting. I thought like most of Asian countries has like really strong dialects. So they have like different accents. I know for like China, it's a really big continent. So I know they have like a ton of dialects.
A lot.
I know. Like
always
there's
hear about
Mandarin
it.
and there's like all sorts. And that's really interesting. I did not know about that fact.
Yeah, it's just very subtle, like with general Japanese, the different dialects. It's you would notice the difference, but
That's very interesting.
yeah, you would still understand.
Harry taught me some words in Japanese, and I learned Japanese in middle school and high school, I think.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Only thing I remember is how to tell my phone number in Korean number, and my name, and how to introduce myself. はじめまして。私は韓国から来ました.
The accent there is top notch.
Yes!
It's top notch. It's definitely a lot better than what people would try to like speak the accent when after they learn Japanese. But
I'm so happy.
yeah.
And I can count numbers. 050の5777の
I'm gonna stop you there.
91. That's my Korean phone number. Don't search it up, guys. Because it's
Don't search up.
Don't search it up because it's already like blocked. Yeah, so I don't use that cell phone number anymore. So don't call me.
So it's just a random person.
Yeah. But anyways, Harry taught me samui. Samui.
Yeah, which means
Cold.
yeah.
Yes.
It was
That-
really cold the other day. So
Yes.
that's-
So Harry and I were like running out of the UC and we were like, samui.
yeah.
You said you watched a lot of animes.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite one? Or like top 3 if that's too hard.
I actually don't have a third. I know my first two. The number one will always be Made in Abyss.
Can you tell me again?
Made in Abyss.
Abyss. Oh, okay,
Yes.
let me see.
So it's like about these like little kids with potato faces. But the world that they live in is crazy.
It's kind of reminding me of like Maple Story. Do you know Maple Story game?
I've heard of it.
Maple Story kind of looks like that and like Zelda mixed up. Yeah.
Except there's like a lot of dark stuff that happened like down in the
In the anime?
setting. Yeah. In the
Really?
setting, which is this gigantic hole on an island in the middle of the ocean, right?
Oh.
And this hole, no one knows how deep it is, right? And those two kids, like the protagonists, they explore it.
Okay.
And it's like kind
But
of
they're so tiny though.
I know, that's the thing. They're rebellious, and that's why they went down. But yeah, crazy stuff happened down there. Alongside that anime, I guess my number 2 would be Girls Last Tour. And I even have
Girls Last
Tour, like Tour.
Girls Last Tour.
Hmm.
Oh, it kind of has like the same drawing.
I guess like I'm a sucker for like I guess like plots that seem really happy but then have like a dark
Really dark
turn.
side.
But at the same time, Girls Last Tour
Mm-hmm.
isn't necessarily like that.
Mm-hmm.
The plot itself is like really happy. It's just a slice of life. Like these two girls, they're the protagonists.
I'm very sorry, guys.
They just explore like the ruins of civilization, right? And it's just happy. Like they I guess eat potato snacks or whatever. Not chips. I forgot what it was, like some ration, and they're like, oh, it's cheese flavor. It's so yummy. And
is this like a military base background?
it's the ruins of civilization.
That makes a lot of sense.
But like as you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is so cute and this is so happy. You just start wondering what the heck happened to that world, because they never address it except for like certain scenes where there's like this giant abandoned robot, gigantic abandoned robot that they kind of fidget with, and it turns on and just laser beams the entire city.
So it doesn't really give like a whole history of what happened, but it's like these two little girls look very happy and adventurous, but at the same time it has like a really dark background.
Especially since the main premise is that most of life on Earth in that world has perished.
Oh, so
and
it's
so
kind of
they're
like
one of the last few.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a Walking Dead at the end of the episode, where everyone is kind of dead and like a few of them are like living.
Yeah, pretty much. But the main thing I really like about these two animes that really just stood out to me was the soundtrack.
Oh,
soundtracks
are awesome.
They're so beautiful. I even remember the composers' names. For Main Abyss, it's Kevin Penkin. You can probably find them on Instagram. And then for Girls Last Tour, it's Kenshiro Suehiro.
Kenshiro
Suehiro.
Suehiro.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think in like Japan movies, OSTs from the soundtracks from the movies, I think they create like such a wonderful orchestra. I think that's like one strong thing about Japanese like animes or any movies, and animated any movies or like whatever it is.
Oh, like the Ghibli studios, right? Their orchestra is incredible.
Korean people love Ghibli.
No, everyone loves it.
Everyone loves Ghibli.
Literally, Americans like they could have zero knowledge on anime, but they will know Totoro. They will know Spirit of
하루에 움직이는 성, Spirit Away. And Sen and Chihiro.
Yeah, Sen to Chihiro no
Sen to Chihiro.
no Kamikakushi.
No Kamikakushi.
Yes.
What is that?
That's I'm blanking. I don't.
Is that the title?
Yeah, that's the whole title.
Oh, in Korea we call it just Sen과 Chihiro. Sen is the name and Kwa is like and like to. Sen to Chihiro. So yeah, we just call it Sen과 Chihiro.
That's kind of interesting.
Right.
It's very similar too. Yeah. But yeah.
That's the whole background of Harry's anime.
I haven't been watching a lot lately. I will say though, for you know how I play a lot of J-pop songs on the radio?
Right.
One of the artists that I mainly play is called Sakanakshon. And they actually recently came out with a new single, which is their first ever song that was in an anime.
Really?
Yeah, they've been around this is actually their 20th year.
and this is never featured like a anime song.
Yeah, no, this is their first anime song.
Wow. Is it good though?
The song itself is really good, but I think it really pops off when you watch, the opening of the anime. I've actually seen the entire anime. It's a little abrupt at the end, but It's so good.
Wow.
So good. The opening, the second action song makes it
You
so much
should
better.
like send me the link so I can like take a look at the songs.
Absolutely. And I can definitely recommend a few, especially since I always play it on the
Yeah.
DJ. And also, one of them, I even made my alarm sound.
Really?
Yeah, I replaced, the typical Apple radar sound, which gets boring after a while, with that song that I really, really like.
Mhm. You know, when you put your favorite song as an alarm, you kind of hate them after like 3 days because
Really?
it wakes you up, and I'm like, I don't want to wake up.
So this is actually how I wake up to it. Like, whenever I start hearing the intro of it, I'm like, well, that just motivated my day.
Really?
Non-sarcastically. I know
No way.
that. So, like, it just pops me up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm ready for the day.
No way. Because I was in like middle school, and I put Ariana Grande's Be Alright song, and it starts with like, thing, thing, thing. And then as soon as I hear that, when I walk the street, I'm like, pause. Don't even try to. I get so
That's
mad.
fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I love your positive energy.
It's just because that song is so hype.
Oh.
And that's like the main reason why I love that song, because it's so hype.
It's kind of like, okay, let's start the day right now. Like,
yeah, literally.
Okay, I get it.
And I would try to recommend it right now on air, but at the same time, it's kind of a long name. It's
Just-
called
yeah.
It's called Omote Sando 26時.
Omote,
Sando
sando,
26
26,
ji.
ji,
Or you can, for 26,
26.
you know what that means, right? Number, the 26.
Mm.
But yeah, obviously it's a long title, and so like I try to avoid saying it
Why?
too much. I avoid trying to recommend it because
It's just hard to
it's
explain.
right. But whenever I start playing it on the DJ, I obviously say it.
I think it's important to like embrace what like I know there's a lot of international students on campus, and I know their like full name is very hard to like pronounce sometimes. For like Cambodian students or the students from Myanmar, especially those Vietnamese students or anything, they have like a really complicated name for Americans to pronounce. But I think it's important for them, for the foreign cultures to pronounce their name properly, so people can actually use their own name in other foreign countries, so they can be proud of their name. I know it's kind of like I sound like a hypocrite because I use a name called Jane, but there's a reason for it. I'm not like I'm not ashamed of my Korean name, which is Jisoo, Jisu. So it's Ha Jisoo. But the reason why I'm not using it, because I did not like the name in Korea. I was going to change my name. Like I prepared this since I was like 18, 17. I wanted to
Really?
change it, but I haven't yet because there's like so much documents to go
Oh, true,
over.
true. Yeah.
But
Was
yeah,
there, like, I don't know, I don't mean to like pry in,
No.
but was there a reason why you wanted to change it?
I think it's just how I feel about the name. Ever since I was little, the Jisoo name is a really pretty name. Like there's a K-pop idol called Jisoo, like Blackpink Jisoo. But I don't know. For me, it didn't felt like me.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I don't know why. It just helped. It's just how I felt. So ever since I was like 17, 18, I was like, I really want to change my name. I've been telling my mom about it. And I do want to actually change my name into pure Korean name, Jae-in. It can be spelled in Korean that way. So it can be Ha Jae-in. So I think it'll be a really good name for like international name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of how my name was formed. But anyways, what do you think it's like the biggest difference when you like talk to your mom? And I know you lived in West Texas, you have not lived in West Texas. Like, what do you think is the biggest characteristic of West Texas?
Compared to Washington?
Yeah, anywhere.
Well, I lived in Washington my whole life, and
Right.
if you or anyone has ever visited Seattle, it's very cloudy. It's like
Oh.
80% of the time cloudy. The humidity is pretty high, and that was like the main weather difference. I've noticed that a lot of people on this show, like, compare the weather here to like wherever they came
Yeah.
from, right? The weather here is so crazy. It just makes no sense. Like we mentioned earlier, it was really, really cold the other day, right? Right? But then now it's like warm. It's like at least, I don't know,
I know.
27 degrees Celsius
I'm
at least.
sweating so bad right now.
Yeah, I know. It's warm in here too. But other than that, the main difference that I noticed
Mm-hmm.
was the people.
Oh, how is it different?
So up in Washington, I don't know if it's because of the weather, it all being cloudy and,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's sad because of the
Mm.
weather. I don't know if that's the reason, but when I came here,
Mm-hmm.
strangers would talk to me about anything.
Oh.
They would just come up to me, like I would be pumping gas into our car, and
How are you up to?
yeah, no, the guy would just come up to me and be like, "Hey, yeah, I heard the
The news,
weather
yeah.
over there was like bad. Man, are you okay? How are you doing, dude?" And I'm like,
I
yeah,
don't know you.
yeah, I'm like, "Who are you? Do I know you?"
Yeah, it's a really big difference.
Mm-hmm. And in Washington, unlike here, everyone just keeps everything to themselves.
Oh.
Like if you're in the middle of like a crowd or like you're walking past people, no one will say anything to you. If you try to say something to someone, they'll give like a very short
Weird look.
response. Yeah, either a weird look or a short response and just walk away.
So I think that's like a big city and like a small city thing.
Maybe.
Because
yeah.
in Korea, I lived in a really big city called Suwon and Seoul. Seoul is the capital, which there was my university. And Suwon is also a really high populated city. And yeah, like, so if you live in a big city like New York or Seoul or Washington State or Seattle or whatever, they will be very personalized. Individualism. That's really strong.
Individualism.
And when you try to like have a small conversation with random strangers and try to smile at them, they're gonna think you're a creep. They're gonna be like, "Why are you smiling at me?"
I could also understand that because in big cities more crimes are like prominent, so they want to just avoid people who are
random.
kind of crazy because there are obviously people like
yes.
that around Seattle too, so I think that's the main reason.
Even in Korea, if you just smile at people and just randomly talk to them, they're gonna think that you're kind of in a weird religion and they're gonna avoid you. They're gonna
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
because there are actually like not proper religion people, like like really crime related religions in Korea that would try to like captivate you. So I still remember this. I was 19. I was preparing for my Korean SAT, and they came up to me and they were like, "You have a very beautiful smile on your face, and you seem like your ancestors are like coming upon your future and everything." And he was like, "Do you want to open up your life puzzle with me together?" And I was like, I just studied until 2 a.m. in the morning, and you better run because I'm gonna go crazy.
that's so awkward.
Yeah,
what do you say?
It happens. It happens in Korea, and it's like a big city thing. And like I respect all the like good religions and like proper religion activities, but this guy was not a proper religion.
That sounds scary.
He was just
That's
wanting my
so
money.
sketchy. Yeah.
So I had to like run away. But like it's really common in big cities to encounter like weird, like really various types of people. So I think that's where it comes from, like individualism. And now here in West Texas, just like you said, everyone's like, "Hey."
Yeah, right. Like
What's up?
it's like even though San Angelo is like a decently largest city, it's kind of like a community.
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Like everyone's just fine with talking with other people. Yeah.
They're just really like chill about like small informations about themselves.
Yeah, and
Even
very
in, like,
open.
Yeah, in like elevators, they would be like, the weather was too hot today. Like,
True. Yeah, like the faculty here would do that too. I mean, to be fair, they're faculty. They're like they're very
supposed to be.
talkative. Yeah, and they're connecting with their students, so it makes sense. But
yeah, I think, yeah. And what kind of differences other than those kind of small talks? What kind of differences did you see in West Texas?
the environment.
Oh,
So
what do you mean?
in Washington, there is a reason why it's called the Evergreen State. I was actually wearing, it was yesterday when I was wearing the shirt that said Evergreen State or
What does
something
that
like
mean?
that. Evergreen is pretty much, greenery, right?
Ah,
Like, I mean, evergreen trees are a thing, right? But, and they're all over Washington, and I think that's the root of the nickname for Washington State, the
Really?
Evergreen State. But it's mostly just because Washington is so green. At least on the eastern or western side of the Cascades,
Right.
where Seattle is and all those cities like clumped up together. that area, there's just greenery everywhere.
I think it relates to the humidity.
Definitely, 100%.
When I first came to San Angelo, people told me it's kind of like a desert type of weather.
Absolutely.
And when I came here, there was no flowers, no green leaves. That was so sad. But when I went back to Korea 3 months ago, everything was green. Everything was like, even though it was winter, I could see all the green. So
it's so vibrant. Like when you go back, like, you know, when you're living there, you're just like, it's all normal, right? And it's just all, oh, it's pretty, it's nice. And then you come here for like a year or so.
Lizards, raccoons, desert, cactuses.
Yeah, there's like nothing outside of San Angelo for like miles on end, right? It's only the campus area that have like big trees and greenery and all that. So when you're living here for like, I don't know, up to 2 years maybe, and then you go back to, you know, your home city, right? It's all vibrant. You're like, vibrant. Wow! It's just bursting in colors.
I know. I hate humidity, but I miss the flowers and green leaves.
Me too.
So Washington State has a nickname for evergreen.
Yeah, the evergreen state. Yep.
So do you like the weather better here, or do you like the humidity over there? That's a big debate.
So in San Angelo, it's pretty much like a desert area. Like the landscape, there's like barely any greenery around San Angelo. And no big buildings or skyscrapers, right? But at the same time, you have beautiful weather. You have like most of the time, at least, right? And most of the time, like, I don't know, 80% of the time, it's just blue skies, minimal clouds. I don't like zero clouds, but there's just minimal clouds in the sky, and it's just all nice. Then when you go to Washington, everything's green, obviously, but the clouds, it's just always cloudy.
Is it rainy a lot?
It's more cloudy than rainy, but yes, it does rain very often, especially like around the springtime through most of the year, actually. Never mind, there's no seasons over there. It's just all rain.
All right. Yeah, like honestly, in Korea, even though the temperature is lower than in San Angelo when it becomes like the summer season, you will feel more terrible in Korea because of the humidity. They can't even calculate the humidity because it goes over 100. So you feel like a frog in summer in Korea. But when I first came here, I loved this desert weather. I think I'm perfect. I think maybe I was a cactus in my past life or something. I like this desert weather.
I don't know. It feels very dry here.
I like it.
I'm just so used to the humidity.
I hate humidity. I can't. I can't. But yeah, like we talked about so many cultural differences, weather, anime, like languages, names.
Oh, that's also real quick. I just want to throw in. I do actually have 2 names.
Yes, please.
So obviously my American name is Harry Karemetlian, right?
What?
But my Karemetlian, like Karemetlian. It's a Middle Eastern name from my dad's side.
Okay.
But my Japanese name, which I don't know if many people even know it, is Takemura Yuki.
Takemura Yuki.
Yes, Yuki with 2 U's, and Takemura is the last name. I always say it first because, you know, that's how Japanese names work.
So would people call you Yuki more?
In Japanese school, they would call me Takemura-san because it's more respectful to call your fellow students by their last name, right? So, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Takemura-san. Jisu-san is for boys, right?
No, san is like
for
universal.
Everyone?
Yeah.
So I'll be Jisu-san?
Yeah.
Oh.
Chang is like an informal way to say, you know, the person's name and then the, you know, Chang, which is for girls, right? And then kun is the boys version.
Kun.
Yeah, kun.
I was curious about that part. Yeah, we covered a lot of topics today, and I think it was really interesting. Did you enjoy the show today?
Oh man, it was fun. I've never been able to express myself to San Angelo.
You should come to the show more often. Like, we're kind of out of time today, but thank you so much for coming here to the show. I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.